A frustrated client says to me, "What you're teaching me isn't working." And I said to the client, "What part isn't working?" And the client says to me, "All of it." And I said, "Well, let's go to the beginning and see how you're following through with the tools that I've taught you." Now, I know that the client knows the tools because I have quizzed the client and he's been able to recite not only the tools, but he's been able to also give the tools in multiple environments at multiple times of the day, and actually had him teach a family member the same set of tools, while the family member has also seen him implement the tools successfully. So the client, in a very upset and disturbed state says to me, "It's not working. My life isn't changing, and this set of tools is just not allowing me to experience success or achievement." So I go back into the file or folder and I look, and I've been working with this client for 3 weeks and I see improvement. So because I measure everything, I was able to measure the function that this particular client came to me for. There has been actual measurably small improvements. But at the same time, it's been 3 weeks, and I'm impatient. At times, I want this client getting better the next day. But I said to the client, "Do you understand the difference in the definitions of attainability and sustainability?" And the client said, "No." So let me share with everybody. When you attain, it could be in a moment. It could be one incident. It could be for just this second or this instant. When you sustain, it's over a period of time. So when we look at attainability, it's right here, right now. Sustainability means ongoing for a specific period of time. So when I explained that, the client said to me, "But I did have sustainability." And I said, "When?" And he said, "In the first and into the second week." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "I was on that schedule that you put me on and I was following it intensely." And I said, "What happened?" Because we're in the week 3 right now and you're very frustrated that nothing is working. And he says, "Well, I went off the schedule and I guess I was looking for the same results." And I said, "Yes, because you're not yet fixed. We have not yet fixed the impairments that you came to me to identify and repair. So because there's not full restoration of these areas of weakness, you're having problems sustaining. But you also made a cognitive decision, intellectual decision on week 2.5 to not use the same tools that I originally had taught you that you also showed mastery. Why is that?" And he said, "Because I thought I was doing well enough that I was able to not have to use the tools." So I said, so let's go back to the original concern. The original concern is, hey, what you're doing for me is not working. Now, when we look back and we understand this time period of 3 weeks, how can we redefine that? Let's change our perception, right? Let's manipulate our perception so we can understand this differently, because I have no problem taking responsibility, but I think we're just misunderstanding what's going on here. And very responsibly and maturely, he said to me, "When I was implementing the tools, it was working. When I stopped implementing the tools that you taught me, I went back to the way I used to be performing, because it's habitual. It's what he's used to. And I'm not getting the same results." So the rule of thumb here is he had sustainability with the implementation of very specific tools and techniques I gave him. He had attainability right from the beginning, which immediately boosted his confidence, which allowed him to believe that he was able to be restored. And that's what created that sustainable period. When we got deeper, he says, the reason why I think I went back to using my old set of skills prior to meeting you, Dr. Buzz, is because it was just easier. I didn't want to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I didn't want to take magnesium glycinate and go to bed by 9:30, 10 o'clock every night. I didn't want to exercise in the morning when my cortisol is highest and it's best for me. It's not what I wanted to do. And I said, well, then there's rule number 2. What you need to do might not always be what you want to do. So we have 2 lessons learned with this client. And I want everyone, if you're the person who is guilty of this, or you're a clinician working with people who are guilty, A is we need to teach them the difference between attainability and sustainability. And they're different. Attainability in a moment, sustainability over a period of time. And number 2 is that the implementation of the tools is what creates the change. And because we are creatures of habit, we're always at risk for going back to what we're used to because it takes work to continue to sustain. And if we go back to what we're used to, that might be what we want to do, but it's not what we need to do. So share this with your clients if you're a clinician. And if you're a person that's guilty of this, keep following my post. I'm going to teach you more and more tools on how to combat this so we can make you more resilient, more well, and more immune as human beings.